Okay, so I think we're good to start. Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Welcome to MSCB Talks, which is a series of live talks we have been holding lah. Yeah, so to chat with you guys during this period and also to speak with our guests as well. So today with me is my colleague Zhang Xing. Hi Zhang Xing.
Hello, Cui Wen. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Okay, so today's
Okay.
so today's topic is on mental health, right? And I think COVID-19, this pandemic has been very hard on everyone globally. So it's been reported worldwide that the number of like calls made to mental health hotlines during this period have increased. And also like more people are just turning to um, counselors to seek help to alleviate any like concerns or anxiety that they have lah. Yeah, so Zhang Xing, like, have you experienced like cabin fever at all? Today is day what of circuit breaker?
Today is day 44. Wow, it's
Today
like
is
I lost count of the days like every day.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I do feel that I feel a bit grumpy but then I'm conscious of it, so I'm trying like my best
Mm,
to balance my mood in a way. Yeah.
mm,
Um so I hope that today by speaking with these special guests, everyone will be like more enlightened or like feel more comforted in some way. Yeah.
mm,
So this special guest, right? She is a former MediaCorp actress, host, basically a multi hyphenate. And then she went to Japan for study. Then after that, she came back and then joined Style by Style, which is a fashion and lifestyle site. And then 2 years ago, she went to Paris and dropped everything and go to Paris. Yes,
mm.
and you probably know who this is, and that is Sharon Au.
Woo! Okay, if you have questions for her, please leave it in the comment section now.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know
Sharon will be
some of
joining
you
us.
have been asking
Hi.
where is she and when is she coming in, and she's here. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. Hold on, ah.
Bonjour.
Hi,
How are you?
Sharon. Hi, hello, hi.
Also, bonjour, bonjour.
Hi,
Bonjour.
Sharon. Slight technical like troubles there, but hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour. It is 9 p.m. over there in
Yes,
Singapore, and it
yes.
is 3 p.m. here in Paris.
Mhm.
Bright and
How?
sunny. I wish everyone is okay at home, and thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Sharon. How have you been doing?
I've been great. I've been great. Today is the 10th day of our day confinement. The 10th day of our lifting of our lockdown.
Mhm.
And so we have been free to go to work, take public transport. So-called liberty again. Yeah, so far okay, and the sun is shining every day, so it's a good sign because sunshine is very important to feel bright and
Mm,
hopeful. Yeah,
mm.
but
So,
other than that, things remain the same. Not many people on the streets. People are still very wary.
mm,
Mm.
Mm.
have you gone out since the lockdown has been lifted in Paris?
No, actually, today is the 10th day. I only went out yesterday because my ambassador's wife, the Singapore ambassador in Paris, his wife Jennifer cooked nasi lemak, and I dashed to her house in my trottinette, my e-scooter, just to get free nasi lemak lunch. So I risked my life to eat nasi lemak.
Yes, anyone would risk their lives to eat nasi lemak, I
Because
think.
if not, I don't want to go out because I was so afraid of the phenomenon of people going out
Mm,
and flocking the streets, and a surging of the second wave of the crisis.
mm,
Because I read a lot. I mean, we saw a lot on the news every day. Like Spain, 3 days after they lifted the lockdown, they had to declare again state of emergency because
yes.
they had a lot of infected cases after
Mm,
the lockdown
mm,
was
Mm.
lifted. Yeah.
mm. So Sharon, in Singapore, right? We have the circuit breaker, and a lot of people are feeling very stressed because of this period. So, and I believe like in Paris as well, everybody's feeling the same globally. So, like, how have you been dealing with? How did you deal with this whole lockdown situation in Paris? Yeah.
You know, I mean, I believe everyone had the threshold of how much they can adapt. So yeah, for me and for many of my friends, in the beginning, of course, it was it was tough to navigate, to feel that you are being confined to a certain space. But after a week or two, it became like a second nature. In fact, you realize that even before the lockdown, you seldom go out anyway. Most of us are quite antisocial anyway. You know how and 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 especially for people like my personality where I really don't know how to say no. So whenever people invite and I just go because I don't want to embarrass them. So the lockdown was perfect for me because nobody invited you for any gatherings or parties. So I was free to be my antisocial and introverted self at home.
Like, stay in bed.
Have more
Yeah,
me time.
like don't go out. Actually, because really seriously, you seldom go out anyway. I mean, for me in Paris,
Mm.
yeah. So
For
it was
today,
okay.
our topic was is mental health, and then we remember that you actually wrote an open letter in 2018, right? About to share about your depression and PTSD, which you experienced after the Tohoku earthquake. I think that's a very brave, and I really appreciate you sharing this very personal side with us. So, how do you actually recognize that, like, you have that problem back then?
Oh, um, I remember what triggered me to write that article for
Mm,
Taobao because I think I just resigned from MediaCorp, and I suddenly felt liberated to be able to have my own voice. Because prior to that, as long as you're working in a huge corporation, you represent the company, so you have to be very mindful of what you reveal, and you don't gossip like, oh, there's a crazy woman working in the TV station running a fashion website, so you will probably ruin your business. So I remember I felt very liberated to talk about my feelings. And I wanted very much to share that depression period because I really went through a lot of hell just to see a doctor. I mean, it's funny when I was writing it because it was all over, but it was really tragic at that time when I was experiencing it. I remember like when I went to see a doctor and the nurse half screamed, "Oh, Jackie Chan!" sorry. Oh, Jackie Chan is my Chinese name. Like, Sharon Au! And so I remember I switched immediately. My whole actress persona came on, and I lied. I said, "Oh, I'm here not because I'm sick. I actually I'm doing a new role for a new drama, and I just wanted to understand how a mental uh, person who is seeking help is going through." So I remember coming up with a lot of excuses, and then so of course they believed, and then they said, "Oh, okay, can we take a photo with you?" So can you imagine you are
Yeah.
in a complete wrecked state of mind, uh, and you couldn't seek help lah. But in hindsight, now I think about it, now as I talked about it, I should have been more honest. Like, why do I care so much about, you know, what people think of me? I should have just said, like, yes, I'm feeling really low and I need help, and that's why I'm in this clinic and I need to see doctor so and so. I should have done that. So that's why it was very important for me to share those anecdotes so that people who need help will not feel embarrassed or shy because I went ahead to do it anyway.
mm.
Yeah.
Do you like experience any, or do you see notice any signs that uh within yourself that makes you feel that I should check with a doctor? So like for example, now people are staying at home, or maybe they are
Mm,
staying with
mm,
families or roommates, I don't know, people that they might not be so close with. How do they actually know that they are maybe feeling not so okay?
I think okay, because for me it was very obvious. It was a form of PTSD, which I didn't know until I sought help, medical analysis. But what happened was during a meeting, I felt that the earth was shaking, and so I sort of told everyone to hold the table, and I mean you were just in a state of emergency lah. And then of course then you realize actually nothing was shaking. So it was a ghost earthquake. When that kind of ghost experience happened a few more times, that's when it was very obvious. My colleagues told me I better see a doctor because obviously I've been traumatized by the Tohoku earthquake. So that was quite easy for me. But for many other people, they might not be so fortunate to have a symptom that is so obvious. But you have to look out and be very mindful of how this person is. Maybe when she or he is extra cheerful, then you have to look out, because usually we hide behind a facade. So or when this person is very inspirational. So like for example me, right, the period of time where I was most depressed, ironically, was the time you will see on my Instagram where I kept writing about not giving up, reminding people about being strong. And I always hashtag note to self. Okay, when you see signs like that, that means that person probably going through some form of sad introspection, and is probably actually looking for help and asking for help, but not knowing how to do so. So you look out for these signs. In fact, I've never seen a depressed person looking depressed. I've not. The few close friends who have been through deep chemical imbalance, they are often the most cheerful, people always on the move. So look out for them and be very mindful of what they are actually manifesting. It could be overcompensating for something that is very damaged inside.
So for yourself, right? Since for you the sign was quite obvious because you had an episode, but outwardly it wasn't so obvious what you were experiencing, what you were going through. So how did you manage to overcome like your own barriers to like seek help eventually? Because I mean you had a few failed attempts, right?
Right. It takes a lot of tearing down on that pride. I remember my mom, she came and told me, she said, oh, today, it was a Sunday. She said, today I made the whole church pray for you. I told them my daughter is suffering from depression. I made them pray for you. Do you know, I screamed. I was so embarrassed. And I remember, now regretfully, I remembered screaming at my mom saying that, how could you air dirty laundry in the public? And I remember I was so full of myself. I said, do you know, everybody knows Sharon Au? Like, not really, but okay. And
Reality check.
yeah, and I said, do you know I'm famous? And so you told the whole church, so the whole church knows Sharon Au is depressed? How could you do this? How could you do this? It's our secret, Sharon Au is, so I was hysterical. And, that's when, you can't help someone when that person is in denial. So I realized my mother and my close friends really found it very difficult to help me, because I was so stubborn and I was so full of pride and full of myself. Instead of appreciating that my mom made the whole congregation pray for my well-being. So in hindsight, that was really truly terrible thing that I did. Then what made me finally seek help was when I think I reached the rock bottom. If you couldn't go any lower than that. So you have many thoughts of suicide, ending it all, ending the pain. So all these most negative things that propel you to become a very dark person. I guess so. Something very personal. So I wanted to end it all. So I told my mom, because she's my one and only person whom I cared about. So I told her. So I remember she drove over to my apartment, and she was very calm, So my mom is a very extraordinary person. I hope she's not watching, or she's gonna feel very touched. Okay, she's not on Facebook. Yeah, she was very calm, and she said, uh, if that's really the best thing, you know, she has raised me up to be a very rational, logical, mature woman, and I was already in my late 30s. So if that's the only solution I can think of, she says, go ahead. And she said, go ahead. I'm sure you will go to heaven. But I'll be very, very sad. And she said she will be very sad, but she would rather she be the one who is sad and, suffering than me suffering on earth. Okay, when she said that, it was very strange. Immediately, I didn't want to kill myself anymore. Because my immediate effect was, what? What kind of mother are you? You're even trying to stop me. I expect you to be in tears and crying and telling me and telling me, the right thing to do, and telling me things like there are many other less fortunate people, blah blah blah. You should be slapping me, shaking me, I thought that's why you rushed over to my apartment to stop me. Instead, she came over to say, go to heaven. I'm like, so first of all, I completely woke up and I was arguing with her on the merits of, telling me not to go and kill myself. And after talking out, after I like debated about that, I realized that I really didn't want to end my life, because it's just a very, very irresponsible thing to do, because my mom just said she's going to cry for the rest of her life just so that I can be happy in heaven. So
I think in that moment,
yeah, in that moment she saved me, but I don't think she had any intention of saving me, because she genuinely said that. I could feel from her heart, she really just said, go die lah. But but I remember then the next week I started Googling and looking for psychiatrists. Yeah. I think because I want to be alive to continue to torture my mom.
But I can tell that, like, from her response, it seems like it's like mother, like daughter, like both of you are very wise and probably know each other very well, very strong mentally as well. Like, even though you go through all this, but there's a lot of things that, when we have mental problems, it really depends on the individual to resolve it within themselves. Yeah. So actually, when your mom pray for you, right? And then you feel that, oh my God, it's not what I actually want. So how can actually what should people do to make, like, the person that is not well to feel better? Like, how do we know what the person needs? Or at that point in time, like, what makes you feel better? Listening to you, or asking you, are you okay? Giving you nasi lemak?
No, I think you have to understand that at that point in time, nothing anyone can do will make the person feel better. Nothing. So don't try. Don't try. And I mean, you can try. Sorry, because you want to help. But what I'm saying is, don't blame yourself if it doesn't work, because most of the time it is the person is just stuck in that moment. And as I said, unless the person is willing to seek help, to understand that he or she needs help, nothing you can say can ever make that happen. So it's a little bit sad, because there's really nothing we can do. And that is why until today, we still see sad. We still see tragic cases happening where people end their lives, or they continue to live in a state of torturement. But what I can sort of suggest or advise, not that it will work, but it's just to be there. So, because I remember, I mean, so okay, you must understand that you will become, the person will become such a difficult person to be with, that I frightened away all my friends. So friends will start to drift away because they just can't understand and can't be in the same room as you, because you're just so negative and you are just crying all the time. It's actually very difficult for a normal person. So people will drift away. So I do have very close friends who just gave up and decided the best thing to do is to leave me alone, and they really just stopped talking to me, stop answering my texts, because the text is a vicious cycle. It's always the same thing. I always say I'm upset, I'm depressed, I'm so unhappy, I want to die. And then, it's just round and round, just do the same thing. So I guess you keep the distance, but don't really leave the person. Still hover around and check on this person, maybe from other sources, like check from the mom, check from the colleagues, check from the other friends who are still in contact, and just be there. And it's very easy to be there now, because now we have social media. So, you like a photo, you like a comment, or you leave an emoji, you leave a heart. It's also a sign that you are present. Yeah.
I think that's very good advice, actually, because for example, for friends of people who are going through depression, I think a lot of people really, they just don't know what to do, and they feel quite helpless, and so maybe they try and help in different ways and many ways, but that may not be the most effective or helpful at all So your advice is just to be patient and be present from a distance, sort of like to hold out for as long as the person needs.
Yeah, and then keep sending notes, because actually the best thing you can do for the person is to let him or her realize that he or she needs to be the person to reach out first. So, and especially reach out to the right people, because I know friends are, important, and it's good to have friends as a form of support system. But when a person is chronically depressed, friends are not enough. We need medical help. So psychiatrists are there for a reason. They're there. They have a methodology to make you process your thoughts and link, your dark thoughts to something that might have happened to you in your childhood. It's always your childhood. I realize, because I've seen 3 psychiatrists. It's always the childhood. It's always the parents. So I remember I compiled so many notes that it's all about blaming the parents, that I actually titled my book, because I'm actually in the process of writing a book as a cathartic process. My first title, work in progress, was "It's All Your Parents' Fault."
Oh, how will your mom react when she sees that title?
I don't intend to publish it. But
Okay.
yeah, I've since changed the title, because it's not really, it's true, it's all your parents' fault, but it's also maybe, it's your fault too. But it's nobody's fault, actually. But yeah, it's all about your childhood, and they will help you link and process. But more importantly, a psychiatrist, when you go for professional medical help, they dispense the right medication for you to correct your imbalances. So that, to me, I know is a very sensitive topic, and many people don't really want to face up to the fact that, I'm on medication, and I'm so weak, because that was what deterred me from taking medication as well. I didn't want to admit that I was sick to the extent that I needed to take medicine. So I was very in denial, and I kept saying I can do it on my own, without the effect of medical intervention. I'm strong enough. I can rise up from the ashes. But it took that didn't happen. I took medicine in the end, and that's how I got better. But I rarely talk about this because I don't want to be an advocate for taking pills, because that seemed, if you are not, if you didn't take it in context, it can become like an addiction, or So I've always stayed away from this topic, but I want to be fair to the 538 people who are watching now. So I just want to be very honest that despite all the help I've received, all my support system, my wonderful mother, my friends, I still had the last input, which was medical help to get me back on my feet. Yeah.
So right now, if you have any negative thoughts, if you had a bad day or a bad week, bad month, and negative thoughts start to creep back into your head, how do you deal with them? How do you cope?
Go for a walk. You just go out of your apartment, open the door, and go for a walk. Why is taking a walk very important? Because first of all, you need to dress up. So usually when you're feeling very low, it's because you're very sloppy and just all over the place. So going out will force you to sort of comb your hair a little, put on some lipstick to look vaguely decent, and get out of the house. And then you would have to press the elevator, press the lift. You have to go down. You have to see a few people. You have to say hello, bonjour. And then sometimes you meet cats, and then you have to, hello, Belle, how are you? So from a state of complete self-indulgence where everything is about you and how terrible you're feeling, you're forced to sort of interact with people. And chances are you will meet very funny people or just, interesting people, or you'll meet people who actually will need your help. Like whenever I go down, I would definitely bump into that 96-year-old old lady whom I have to open the door for because she she's in her
She
crane.
needs their help.
And she didn't ask for help though. She's just like struggling with
trying.
that pain, and then she's trying to, because when we open the door, we had to press the button for the door to be released, and then the door is so heavy, the Osmanian Parisian kind of antique door, so it takes a lot of strength. So I would be suddenly woken up and sobered up from my state of self-pity to open the door, and that simple act helped. And then you continue walking along the river, you will see people, you'll see things, you see beauty. And then you realize, what was I thinking about? Was I being self-indulgent again? Like everything's about me, me, me. And then when things get better, you would take a selfie. And then you post on Instagram and you start writing very emotional captions like, hi, don't give up. Note to self, be strong, be fearless, all that thing, the self-motivational things. And then the world become slightly more colorful, and then it's fine. And then soon you will realize that you're hungry. Then you have to eat. So what I'm saying is, this whole process is a very simple thing, but it makes you know the reality of life goes on. You can choose to go on walking along the river, or you can choose to wallow in your sofa and wait for people to save you. Yeah. But I'm saying this because now I'm in a perfect state, like I'm in a good state to talk to. I know when you are in that moment of feeling really, really despondent, I know even the simplest motion of standing up to get a cup of water is an effort. So just reach out. I don't know, call someone, or maybe cry. Just cry. Cry until you're so tired you fall asleep. I do that sometimes. when you're too tired, I mean, when you're so low that you can't open the door and take a walk, cry, sob into your pillow, and then you realize you just fall asleep because it's just very draining. Yeah.
And the next day, how do you feel the next day after that?
You wake up the next day and then mascara all over your face, like very messy, and you just feel like, oh no, things didn't get better, because chances are things don't get better just because you cried and slept. But at least you survived. You lived another day, you see. So the next day, you never know, something good might, just land on your lap. Like you might receive a call that tells you got this job, or your best friend might call and say, I'm pregnant, So you never know what will happen.
Yeah.
I think even though you have been through so much, especially emotionally, I think like from the start of this live stream, right? I think the top comment that I've seen is that Sharon, you're so gorgeous. You are like so beautiful. How do you actually keep up this state of beauty?
It takes a lot
What's
of
your
effort,
secret?
okay? It takes a lot of effort, okay? Before because today I know I'm going to be on this live chat, I make sure I put CC cream and all the skin tone balancing stuff, which I don't usually do for my conference calls, because I care about my colleagues. But today I know I'm going to meet 586 people online, so I plucked my eyebrows, and I put, no, I sound like I'm joking. I'm not. No, I really made a lot of effort. You can ask my friends, because I even put on a facial mask.
Aww.
Payo. It's called the morning after mask, so that I sort of look more radiant. So you see, it worked.
Yeah,
So this
everybody's appreciative of it.
yes, this
Thank
look
you
is it
for
premium Lian approved look?
Premium Lian. Ayo, please don't talk about her, because she's very annoying. Okay, she is very annoying. She's so annoying that she insists that I have to tell everyone that she's younger than me. Because of my gorgeous complexion, people always mistook that I'm the younger one. So she said, Sharon, whenever you have a chance, which you have all the time because you write so much on your Instagram, can you just remind people that I'm 2 years younger than you? So there you go. On Mothership, I'm telling 608 people that Michelle Chong is 2 years younger than me. But age is just a number. What matters is how you look. And if I look younger than her, voila.
And
Can't do anything about it. Voila.
people are saying that you look great. And somebody asked, how did you and Michelle become best friends?
We're not best friends. We are actually nemesis. I
A
really,
love-hate relationship.
I really honestly don't like her, because she's very mean to me. I remember I went on a soul searching trip because I was feeling low. I went to Venice, and then I took a lot of pictures of myself, in front of colorful apartments, yellow, blue, bright. She wrote and told everybody that I was in Haji Lane. And people believed her. I was very hurt, because I was on a soul searching trip. So this is the kind of friend she is. And then when I'm like in the balcony singing to my canal, and she said that I was in MBS Little Venice singing to the canal. So I wish that you will never have such a BFF in your life.
But you admit that she's your BFF.
She's a BFF. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
No, because she has no friends lah. Okay, so if I'm not her BFF, then she is seriously very lonely at home in her beautiful $1 million apartment, looking at the Singapore Eye by herself, and over ordering supper and drinking too much champagne.
Right.
I feel very. I honestly, I worry. I'm very concerned about her eating habits. She's honestly eating too much at like 1 a.m. She's still ordering, satay and whatnot. It's unhealthy. So now that we're talking about mental health, I think that's a sign of mental health.
Eating too much.
So everyone who knows Premier Liam should help Sharon keep a lookout for her.
Yeah, I think she's there already, and she fits all my symptoms, right? Right, she's very cheerful in front.
Yeah.
So maybe she needs help. Let's all reach out to her and leave a message and tell her, "Hello, are you okay?"
we go and say bonjour.
Yeah. Sharon asked us to check if you're okay.
So, there's someone
I'm
actually.
pretty sure after this, she's going to honestly really give me hell. Okay, I
Later
really
she
hope
text you about this.
nobody shares this video.
That's what BFFs are for.
Yeah.
Actually, someone remembers about you sending emails after work to your colleague. Are you still
Yeah.
sending email at night?
Yeah, I don't dare already.
Yeah, it was quite a topic in Singapore, because it's part of work life here. It's very common, but yeah. So when we heard that, it was a conversational topic for a long time.
Once bitten, twice shy. Now I don't dare to touch my email. Oh my God! Like Friday night, because I didn't dare to email anymore, so I just texted on WhatsApp, and my colleague replied, "Sharon, can you stop texting? It's already Friday night." So
What time is it?
I mean the 10. Oops.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So okay. I confess. Okay, I have this terrible work habit, which has been instilled in me since young. Hardworking renders promotion. When I was in MediaCorp, I answered my emails at all times of the day. My boss sometimes emailed me at 4:30 a.m. I replied straight away at 4:32 a.m. Press send, just to show that I'm always on the ball. And the next day or at the next town hall, my boss will always cite that as an example and say that Sharon is dedicated. She's always there for the job, and that's why I got promoted. So it's a complete change of culture. I thought being so on the ball and overachieving and aggressive actually show how much the job is important to you, and it's good for the corporate world. But here in France, maybe have to live life in moderation, okay.
Yeah.
And there's no criticism here. I completely embrace the France lifestyle now, the work-life balance. I wish everybody all the best here. They are so happy. But I still look forward to working in Singapore. I don't know. I think I'm just completely, damaged.
Many of us will miss you, and we miss you, and we really welcome you back anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I am looking forward to going back. I just told myself, don't give up just because something is tough here in the new environment. It was what I signed up for anyway. My mom always say, why are you so gay kyang, right? You have a perfectly well paid and good job here in MediaCorp. And you are like, everyone, loved you. You could get things done basically just by calling. So why did I go and dig a hole and put myself in a difficult position? So I wanted to just live out this conviction, try and absorb as much as I can from a foreign culture, no matter how different the working styles and methods are. I want to understand and sort of master it so that I know how to work with different people from different backgrounds and civilizations. Because at the end of the day, we are already at a globalization company. You have to work with people who are speaking different languages, have different beliefs, different social norms. So if you just know one way, that would sort of put you at a disadvantage. So at least now I know how to let go, don't call you after 6 p.m. But I also know how to cling on and call you at 4 a.m. I'm flexible that way. depending on which country you work.
Actually, since we're on this topic, right, we had someone ask us on Instagram, what would you say to a young person who wants to work abroad but is afraid or worried of the unknown? So
Oh.
like you just dropped everything, you quit your job and you just went over to Paris and started like a brand new life on your own. How is that like? What advice do you have? Yeah.
So I have to be very honest because I think so far on Instagram and in my social media persona, I've always painted a very smooth, courageous journey. So I always say like just be fearless, take the leap, get out of your comfort zone. But I must really honestly admit that in the first few months when I moved to Paris, um, it was very, very difficult to adjust, to adapt, and also I sent out so many resumes and every one of them were rejected. You think so highly of yourself, like, wow, I'm so and so, and I'm so experienced, I'm in my 40s, I'm a mature, independent woman. But then you realize that actually outside of Singapore, you're like nobody, you're like a frog. And your resume is like so unimpressive.
Yeah.
What are you? Okay, you acted for 10 years, then you went to school, then you came back and worked in the corporate world, started some fashion website, also didn't do very well. It's just nothing extraordinary. So I was rejected by every one of my dream company that I applied for. And that was really sobering. And you see, I don't write that on my Instagram because I don't want people to laugh at me. I wanted to always appear successful. So that's the truth. And to answer the question of the viewer, you have to be prepared for such type of non-stop in your face failures. You have to take it, cry, hide it. I didn't even tell my mom. So I really hope she's not watching, honestly, because I didn't even tell my mom. I just told my mom that I'm so happy here so that she won't worry, you see. Um, yeah, you just have to fail many, many times until you're so immune to falling and falling all over again. So finally, when someone accepted your letter, you really feel so blessed. I remember I just went out to the supermarket and buy a bottle of champagne and just popped by myself and rewarded myself by telling myself, "Yeah, I made it." But I think I made it sound too easy on my normal Instagram captions. So it's been quite misleading. Yeah,
So okay, now
embarrassing.
742 people have heard from you.
Yeah, and I
Keep it to
really want
yourself. Keep it
to
to
share
yourself.
share this
Don't
comment
share.
from
Don't share this
Cynthia
video.
Lim.
Don't share.
She say like, "You are my inspiration, Sharon." Yeah, and I really feel this way after listening to you.
Okay, your inspiration is someone failing and failing again and again.
No, it's about. I think it's like we all embrace your success and we embrace your beauty and we embrace the fact that you are so confident and you are comfortable to share your vulnerabilities. I think that's something that we really appreciate a lot. And even on your Instagram and all that, you always show like a very authentic side of yourself.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you feel this way. But I didn't set out to be authentic. In fact, I set out to paint a very perfect picture of myself so that I can have followers, and so I always take very nice pictures and they're always very much filtered and made to and P2 and all I just try and look flawless. Yeah, so when
It's
you
okay,
told
just
me,
continue to be yourself.
yeah.
Continue to be yourself.
Yeah, I hope so. Because that's why when you told me we're chatting about mental health today, I told myself I have to say things that maybe I'm not comfortable about because I need to let people know that it's really not a bed of roses, and it takes a lot to get out of a rut. So don't underestimate or don't. We have to have empathy. You don't have to have had gone through the same experience, but you need to have the empathy to imagine what would you do in that person's shoes. So don't laugh, don't don't criticize, and don't walk away. Yeah.
Okay, we have this question that has been asked repeatedly. So I feel we have to ask it.
Okay.
It's about your take on marriage.
Ah la la. Yeah.
So I mean, we feel obliged to ask the question, but you can answer it however you want to.
Shit, and I just said I want to be honest. Alamak. Okay, marriage. Okay, honestly, I regret not having children.
Oh.
So that's why you see me kidnapping my godchildren very often. And now, because my godchildren are not in Europe, I went to kidnap or catnap my neighbor's cats. So you see the consequence of someone in her 40s with no children, no one to depend on. Desperate measures will cause some desperate reaction. So it's not a happy ending. Let's put it this way. So whenever I think about it, I always thought, oh dear, why did I focus so much of my energy on my career when I was in my 20s? I did I think that I have a lot of time? And then in my 30s, what about my 30s? What happened? Why didn't I, seriously thought more about the future? Why am I so bent on, in my 30s, I was so bent on becoming the powerful Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama type of woman? But you see, I forgot that even the Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama, they are all married. So it doesn't mean you want to be powerful and capable in your career. Doesn't mean you have to jeopardize and sacrifice your personal family life. So I always think about, why did I only go for one thing and completely neglected about relationship? And then now I'm in my 40s, desperately trying to put on masks every day to look young. But in your 40s, forget it.
Oh no, but everything, I mean, all your hard work and effort, the work that you put in, it really built you to your success today as well. So like, and that's what a lot of your fans love you for.
I know. I mean, I'm not undermining what I've achieved for myself. I'm very proud of it. I'm just saying that, there are many other women. My best friend, for example, not Michelle Chong. Michelle Chong also same fate as me. Like, oh my God, what happened to these two women? Yeah, my godson's mom. I have so many of my friends who are from St. Nicholas, same batch, Hua Chong. They are very successful. They are doctors. They are justice. They are lawyers. And they have very happy family. So you can have your cake and eat it too. You see. So I think something was very wrong in the way I maneuvered my youth, and also as I was climbing and trying to build a career. I think I was just too narrow-minded. So my advice to young women out there is, please don't close that door. You can have your cake and eat it. The world is your oyster. And don't wait too long to find someone, or to let someone find you. Because one thing I always lamented and regretted was, I had many, many wonderful people in my life, and whom I could have married. But I was just too full of myself. I just kept on demanding more because I felt that I was capable of more. It's a very selfish and self-centered way. So don't be like me. So in other words, don't be like me. Thank you.
Maybe the right one is on the way, or already somewhere around you. You just need to continue to open your eyes and look out for any cute guys. I don't know.
Take more walks. Take more walks.
Yeah, take more walks.
Okay. After this chat, I'm gonna take another walk because today I have CC cream.
Yeah, and you wear a nice dress today, like flower dress.
Yes. So I'll float around the neighborhood.
Yeah, if you more kids, you can have a Google sign up or something. I'm sure a lot of people will sign up. Surround you with like young people.
Okay, and also but for people who are like me, who are alone and single and happy doesn't mean we're miserable.
That's
Yes.
very important.
I guess we will form a club that embrace such liberty. This is what we call like sour grape syndrome. Like don't have. That's why I say we are very happy. No. But we are truly happy and liberated. You see, so now we are free to do whatever we want, be as selfish as you want. You can travel. You don't have to worry about babysitting. So you can be the most selfish version of yourself. Bravo.
Bravo.
Hey, but
Okay.
not married doesn't mean I don't have boyfriends or girlfriends. Not married doesn't mean I'm lonely. I'm very happy. I have many,
So how
many
many do you have?
friends and girlfriends. I have many. One in every country.
One in every country and one every day, is it like?
Yeah, no, not every day. No. See, I have one
That's
in
a bit too much.
Japan. I have one in France. I have about two in Singapore. You see, you don't know whether I'm joking or not, right? You don't know whether I'm being serious or not. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, will you be coming back to Singapore? When do you plan on coming back to Singapore?
Oh, yes, I want to go back, except Singapore Airlines stopped operating out of Paris.
Yeah.
So I've been calling them like, hello, are you flying? So they told me they would only operate the first flight out of Paris back to Singapore on the 1st of July.
Oh.
So I'm most probably going to book myself on that flight. Not for any reason, but I need to go back and visit my mom because she's complaining of boredom at home because she has been, confined at home like everyone else. And my mom is a free spirit, to lock her and tell her she cannot go and see her kakis, her friends, her karaoke at the RCs is like torturing her. So I understand she must be feeling quite miserable.
Right. Okay. Yeah, actually, wow, we have spent like almost close to 1 hour. Oh my god.
I know.
Thank
See, I talk
Oh my
non-stop,
God.
so
It's-
sorry. I
No,
didn't
it's
give
not
you a
even.
chance to
I
talk.
don't even feel that like it's
It's
already
alright.
1 hour.
Yeah, thank you for having such a enjoyable conversation with us. Okay,
Don't share this video anymore because I reviewed quite a few
A lot of secrets.
confidential stuff.
now
I think because
about
yes.
I don't know. I was just gonna say I think it's a bit too late because close to 800 people have heard what you have said.
Yeah, they probably will go
Like-
back and review what you said
Eh.
just now if they missed it.
Yeah, throughout this whole session.
It's okay. I'm not in Singapore, so
So maybe got
out of mind.
800 people will go to Premium Lian's page to check on her later.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So like, hey, what are you having for tonight? Like supper? Hey, cannot
I think suddenly she will text me like, "What happened today? Singaporeans are very loving, Suddenly, more people ask me, how are you? No, but seriously, check on your friends, because right now that people are trapped at home. We shouldn't undermine that kind of feeling of imbalance. So just make sure we are all right. But from what I'm seeing on social media, I think everyone is coping quite well. I have a whole system of friends sending food from one household to another, macam like we're living in a kampong. This person is sending bak chor mee over, then that person send over bak zhang, and then in return she sends over pandan cake, and then the pandan cake send over some other cake. This is like one whole big family. I think that's the spirit that I feel very proud of. This place called.
And I think after this session, I'm sure there will be more of this interaction between friends because you have reminded everyone that like every small gesture actually matters. Just
Yeah.
and all.
And
Do you-
also during this period of time, just go online and do all the yoga exercises, all the online exercises. Um, uh, like I go on to Hello Doctor or Hello 医师, depending on whether you're more comfortable in English or Chinese. So you go to Hello Doctor or Hello 医师, when you have any doubts about any of your, you're feeling any discomfort or symptoms. Because sometimes information is power, so you don't panic yourself to death. You sort of get the correct information out there.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. Okay, just one last request. Okay, as the last thing.
There's many last.
A lot of people are asking for you, like requesting for you to do the 陈美光光光. Yeah, there are various
live
requests.
in the past, You guys, that was 1998. It's like 22 years ago. 1998 is 22 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think
you guys live in history.
Or you want to read the 成人星杂志 also can.
Yeah.
No, because that one Kim Ng will kill me. Kim Ng is like, Sharon, please, it's 老人杂志 now, okay? Stop doing 成人杂志. Okay, but I can do the 陈美光光光光.
Okay.
Oh my God, now even doing it now makes me a bit feeling very weird because I did that. It was a very natural thing. It came from the self because I was 22 years old. Now I'm 44, Oba-san. You want me to act cute? Okay, but for the 729 people, I will do it for you. 大家好，我是陈美光光光光光光光光。
Okay, that's wonderful. Award winning. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us today.
Thank you for embarrassing me today. Thanks.
No, actually, Sharon didn't even have lunch, right? No, it's what time already. So really appreciate.
Yeah. I had a series of conference calls until now. It's okay. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry.
Hurry up and go and get your lunch.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today and skipping lunch for this.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Bye.
Take care of your mental health and your physical health.
Yes. See you back when you're back.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Now.
Okay. So thanks for joining us for our chat with Sharon today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We tried to ask as from you guys as possible.
Yeah. If you have more questions, I think you can go to Sharon's IG and you try your luck and leave the message, or you have any encouragement, or you want to thank her for sharing this very personal story. I think feel free to go and do so. I think she will read your messages and reply you if you're lucky.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of very interesting stories from her today and like very good advice also, I think. Yeah, so okay, for you guys, if any of you are feeling cooped up or like stressed or not so well, hopefully this conversation with Sharon helped. Just take care of your mental health and your physical health as well.
Yeah, we are almost there.
Almost.
Less than 2 weeks, and then we can be going out a bit more, just a bit more, but please do it alone also. Don't go with I know you want to meet your boyfriend, girlfriend, or like a lot of friends, but let's do so gradually.
Yeah, there's some light at the end of the tunnel now. Okay, thanks for joining us. Okay, we will be back next Wednesday for at 9 p.m. as well for another show. If you have any suggestions on like what you would like to hear us talk about or who you would like us to speak to like in our upcoming sessions, just leave it in the comment section and we'll try and get them. Okay, thanks guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Reality is often disappointing. My disappointment is immeasurable. My month is ruined. Say no more.
What? Boy, let me tell you what I think.
I know reality is different when you got four walls caving. But don't you worry, cause someone tell you what you can do in your